Well, hello there, I am the Bald Eagle, and welcome back to our little adventure in EVE Online. Let's just claim some stuff here. So we are very, very slowly working our way towards faction warfare. Let's just inject these skills for now. Hopefully, I won't make any promises, but hopefully we will be able to do it at the end of this episode, because I think I will just sort of blast my way through these and then only show the more relevant stuff. I might get into more details in other playthroughs where we focus on other stuff, but I want this to be mostly focused on faction warfare, and then we can always branch out later. Because I think that it will be easier to just... I mean, there isn't really anything to do in these sort of, in terms of... Yeah, we need to go and find the system. Not find a system, but we need to go find a signature. But yeah, there isn't really much to say about these missions, because I think most of it we will cover naturally as we progress through the game and we progress through faction warfare. And then if we do branch out, then I will cover that stuff. But I don't think necessarily that it's such a good idea to go into every single thing. For instance, I could do this mission and then talk a lot about exploring and hacking and things like that, but that's not really the purpose of this playthrough for now, not this character. So I think I will just blaze through all of these to just get the rewards, and then, unless, of course, there is something really relevant or something that I want to show or say or something like that, then yeah, then we might see. But I do need to place this here. That is the system we are in. I already have it. So yeah, let's just go and hopefully sign up for faction warfare real soon. But yeah, as I said, I'll pause the recording, and then I will just blaze through these really, really quick. There is some of the missions where usually you used to be able to go into, not view details. That is the only thing I will say, because I didn't notice that when I came back to EVE recently. A friend of mine started playing also, and then we did the sort of all of the tutorial missions together. And I did notice that some of these missions, for instance, when you start the conversation, so this here, there is a difference between what you are being told in this window, and if you click here and then go view details, you can see here, this doesn't actually tell you what to do, but this might. There, for instance, there is a mission. I think it's the Soldier of Fortune mission, where you have to lose your ship, and it doesn't say it when you just start the conversation. You actually need to go read through this. So if you are doing these career agent missions and you do get stuck, not sure what to do, just go to view details, click these little buttons here, view details, and then read through this, because this is where it will tell you more what to do than if you just talk to your agent for some reason. I'm not sure why they split it up like that. But for now, I'll just pause the recording, and I will hopefully see you guys. For you, it will be an instant. For me, it might be a bit longer time. But yeah, we will see. So see you in a second. Now, one thing I do want to say very quickly about hacking is you always... So there's a rule in this hacking called the rule of 6. And that is when you have a center node like this that is surrounded by these. You can see this node here is surrounded by 6 nodes in total. The purpose of this minigame is to find the sort of something called the system core, and you want to hack that. These areas here, these central nodes where you have 6 nodes around you, they are always a safe spot. If you happen to encounter a hostile system here, then that means that the system core will be in one of these 6 locations. So you always want to go for these areas here that are surrounded by 6 other nodes, and then very quickly get those, because if there were a hostile system here, that means that the system core would be in one of these places. But the little number, this little number here, indicates how close you are to the system core, something positive, or a random. There are these little random caches, and it's right here. Let's just go and get this, and that's what we needed. But yeah, we might get into doing a bit of exploration on this character. I am not 100% sure that it's something we'll do very much of on this character. We might make another character at one point and then cover exploration and things like that. But for now, as I said, I'll just play through these tutorial missions. Just a quick side note, I know that I in not the previous episode, but the episode before that, I talked about the relationship between angular velocity and tracking. I know I said I would cover it in the previous episode, which I didn't, and that is because I discovered that they had actually changed some stuff around. So back in the days, and now I should have not killed him, I should have actually showed him. So in terms of angular velocity, just need to take a look at OBS here. So angular velocity basically tells you have a circle. When you orbit, you're going around that circle. Circle is, of course, 360 degrees. Your angular velocity tells you how quickly you are moving. So, for instance, if this number is 10, that means that you are moving 10 degrees in that circle every second. So if you had an angular velocity of 360, then you would cover a complete circle in 1 second. That would mean that you would go extremely fast. And of course, the bigger you make the circle, the lower your angular velocity will be, because the circle is bigger. If you make the circle smaller, for instance, if I were to orbit him at, like I am now, 2,500, you can see the angular velocity is going up, meaning because the circle is smaller, I have a smaller circle to cover, therefore my angular velocity is greater. If I make this bigger, let's just say, for instance, 15,000 kilometers, and I start orbiting him at 15,000 kilometers, first you will see my angular velocity almost dropping to 0, because now I'm just flying straight away from him. I'm not having any angular velocity in that circle. But as soon as I hit around 15 kilometers, you will see my ship. We can also view it if we go like this, and I will advise you to always have this on when you are doing PvP, because it will provide you with a lot of very important information. You can see this is our orbit, the blue circle. And again, you can now see our angular velocity is much less because the circle is bigger. So let me just again try and change that to the small circle, and then keep a look at the angular velocity once we have actually gone into this little circle here. Now, back in the day, there is a formula, a sort of math formula behind trying to calculate your hit chance. But back in the day, though, you could see if you hover over your weapon here, you had turret tracking. That number there that says 156.89, that used to be very different. Usually back in the day, that number here would be presented in kind of the same way as this number here, in terms of decimals after the comma. And you wanted your turret tracking to be higher than this number here. It wouldn't tell you your hit chance, but it would at least tell you that you would have a higher than 50% chance to hit if your turret tracking number were higher then your angular velocity. Now, in terms of calculating your hit chance, this number here is easier to work with, the turret tracking, but you would still need to look the formula up online and actually see how you are going to calculate. I cannot tell you that because I don't understand the math behind it. I'm not very good at math. And now you cannot directly, by just looking at turret tracking, correlate it to angular velocity. But as a general rule of thumb, you want this number to be as low as possible, because that means that your turrets will have a greater chance to actually track your targets. But we are using small turrets, and they are very good at tracking. You can see we are actually still hitting him. If we were going much faster, or for instance, if we were to close the circle further on him, and then not have the web on him. Now see if we do it on this dude instead. Once we have destroyed him, you will actually see we are now beginning to miss more of our shots because our angular velocity have gone up quite a lot. If I take the web off him, you can see it will actually go higher. We did manage to hit him, because it is very hard to get actually 0% hit chance, but it is definitely possible. So, but yeah, just know that if you want to calculate your actual hit chance, you have to go online and look up the formula for doing it. But just be aware of, the higher this number is, the harder you are to hit in relation to the target you are looking at. So in terms of this Coral Scout here, this number is the same for him as it is for me. So we are, of course, depending on skills. I'm not sure if these have skills like we have skills, but anyway, you want this number to be as, if you want to hit something, you want this number to be as low as possible, or you want to have as good skills as possible. Let's just kill him real quick by doing this. You can see once again we have broken the circle. We have decreased our angular velocity, making it much easier for us to hit him. But yeah, that was basically just it. I remembered I promised to actually talk about it and explain. But back in the day when I used to play, you could very quickly correlate if you had a higher chance than 50% to hit by just looking at your turret tracking and then looking at angular velocity. But still be aware of, this is important to keep as low as possible if you want to have a higher chance to hit, but you can also use it to evade a lot of shots. For instance, if you are flying a frigate and you are going up against a bigger target who might be using long-range guns, definitely keep this as high as possible, because it will make you harder to hit. See you in a second. And yeah, so far my theory is holding correct, that we are getting these implants from these missions. So let's just very quickly... Oh, we need to actually complete it. And once again, remember to always bring the mission item when you are going on a transport mission. So I think... Yeah, so the industrialist entrepreneur, I think this is more sort of a... I think this correlates to the distribution agents. When you are done with the career agents, you will have security agents and you will have distribution agents, which are most of the times just missions evolving around you getting an item from either a station, fly to another station, get an item from a mission, then fly to maybe the station where you got the mission from, or a third-party station, and then deliver the item. That's basically most of the distribution missions are pick up and drop off missions in some aspect like that. But again, always remember the quest item, mission item, whatever you want to call it. See you in a second. Now you will encounter some missions where you actually have to go on the market and buy items. For instance, you need to, for this mission, you need to acquire 2 1MN afterburners. I think you can couple them with this industrialist here. I'm not 100% sure, but I think this will give you some blueprints and actually have you manufacture some of these items. But if you don't want to do it, you can just right-click the item, view market details, And then it's very important because some people, I know that some people have been doing it previously. You actually buy up all of these items from the rookie stations, meaning the starter stations, and then they resell them at a much higher price. But this is okay. This is below 100,000. There's no reason for you to actually do that. So let's just complete this mission. We have already done. We are almost done, and we will get a blueprint, and we will also get a Nerus, which is a hauler. I think it's just a generic hauler. I believe some factions have specific haulers. Let's just go and check that real quick so I'm not lying. But I'm pretty sure that, for instance, the Galente, this is just a generic hauler. Yeah, so ship mineral hold capacity to ice hold capacity. Yeah, so this is for hauling ores. This is for hauling planetary PI stuff. Another mining hauler, and then just a generic hauler. And I think for some reason, this has a ammo capacity hold and a gas hold. Gas hold makes sense, but I'm not sure the ammo hold make that much sense. And the two Caldari are just generic transports. They don't have a dedicated, just like the Amar, they don't have a dedicated hold. Usually the dedicated hold, what you the trade-off is that you gain a cargo hold that can carry a lot more stuff. We can just take a look and see here. Yeah, so as you can see here, the mineral can hold 50,000 M3 and the ice hold can hold 30,000 M3, which is a lot of cargo capacity. But the trade-off is that it can only hold very specific kinds of stuff. As you can see here, the regular cargo capacity of the ship is 550, which is basically nothing. I mean, that's almost frigate size. Yeah, it's of course bigger than frigate size, but not by a lot. Go away, Dominix. But yeah, as you can see here, this ship that we are getting from completing this mission, this has just a standard cargo hold of 2,700. So having a ship that can carry 30,000 and 50,000, again specific, is a lot of cargo capacity. But again, I'm not sure why the Mimitar actually get a ammo carrier. 41,000 of ammo, that is quite a lot of ammo you will be able to haul in that. And we need to get a... Yeah, so for instance, this here, you are granted a blueprint. You need to actually manufacture. You can manufacture. You can also just go and buy this item if you want to complete it right away. But you can actually go into your industry tab. Just locate it over here. You can see we need pyrite. Then we could actually just manufacture this item and save the money. But unless we have... No, we have no ore, and I don't want to go mining for it. I want to get this mission out of the way as quickly as possible. We have accepted the mission, so let's just look at the marketplace. Yeah, that's okay. I can see here always sort by price, because you might end up paying a lot more for your items if you don't do it that way. Always sort by price, then you can always do sort by jumps later. If you want to if you want to do that. And another trick, if you go by jump before you buy the item, for instance, if I want to say, okay, the cheapest item is 3 jumps away, always right click, location, set destination, and then check that it doesn't lead you into low security space. That can happen. Sometimes people are selling items close to these. You can see here, for instance, this will actually take you, if you have to go here, then that will actually take you through 2 low-sec systems. So be very careful with where you are going. Always set your destination before you buy your items. But for now, we can just buy it in the station. And then we can complete the mission, and yay, we have completed another mission, another group of missions. Let's just claim all. Now, if you have the patience, I would actually suggest completing this track down here, and also completing every one of these, because you actually get if you are Omega, you get a double the skill points. If you are Alpha, you will still get quite a lot of skill points. You will also get quite a lot of skins from graduating from doing all of these things here. It will take quite a while. Some of these things are very weird. For instance, in one of them you have to lose ships, PvP. Deliver the final blow, but I think there's also destruction. Yeah, lose one ship. You actually have to lose 20 ships in order to complete this part here. But yeah, definitely completing this track down here. You get these, whenever you complete one of these here, you get career points. You can see here, get 20 career points, and then these require career points. You can see here how much it actually requires. CP is career points. So you would need 3,000 to complete it all the way here. You don't need, I think, not 100% sure, but I don't think you need to fully complete all of these to actually get 3,000 career points. But I'm pretty sure you need to complete every single thing in here in order to get this graduation reward. But just keep in mind that it can actually be, you can get quite a lot of skill points from actually doing it that way. But we got a new ship. We got this one here. Let's just board the ship. No, let's assemble it first. What should we call it? Let's just call it what I sometimes like to call all of my hauler ships. Let's call it Trash Panda. And let's take a look at it. It's not a pretty ship. Still not sure why there are no sounds here. Design collaboration by Duvalo Labs, and I cannot see what the name of that corporation is. Galente Federation. Again, what you need, where you need it. I really don't like the shape of this. It looks like sort of a hand vacuum thing. Goes clean up dirt and stuff like that. It just looks so, you see, it even has the, I don't know, I'm showing it right here, but this thing here, that's the handle where you hold your little hand vacuum cleaner, and then you can clean stuff with it. It just looks so goddamn ugly. A lot of these Galente ships, but I think, yeah, the Explorer I will definitely skip. The Industrialist I might do, but let's actually hold the hold. That's not at all what I wanted to say. Let's actually start the Soldier of Fortune, because that is the PvP focused career agent thing. So let's actually get that started. And again, it is just a simple warp to site and kill them. I'm not sure we have actually seen. I will definitely pause the recording, but once I get there, I will resume, and then I will just show off. I don't think I have shown off the drone combat part. Not that there's anything to it, but it's still in, I think, to cover. So see you in a second. So here we are. Now there are two ways that you can do it. There are actually three ways. You can use this little button here. If you only have 5 drones, you can use this button here. I'm not sure if you have multiple groups, for instance light, medium, heavy, how it would actually launch them. But you can use this button. You can also, if you have it set up in folders like I do, and check the previous episode, I think it is for setting it up in folders. You can use this one here, or what I like to do, I just like to drag. Oh, we actually cannot, really? Really, game? We don't start with any drone skills whatsoever? Why? Okay, that's just Why would you start with drone skills for operating one drone and give us drone avionics, but not at least give us a level in drone skills? Yeah, let's definitely get that now. That's just weird to me that it does that. Why would we start with these skills, but not at least one level in this? Well, let's just get the drone skills trained. Well, then we might as well just kill him. And again, we have a fairly high angular velocity towards him. We are not hitting anything, so let's just break the circle here for a second. Bring our angular velocity way down and let's just kill him. Again, it will be much easier once we actually get way better skills. We could also increase this up to maybe 2,800 and see if it does make a difference. Keeping our angular velocity a bit down, but yeah, we definitely want to get looking at motion prediction. Will give us better tracking. I'm not sure there are any others. Trajectory analysis, that's just fall off. But yeah, again, we are moving. One thing you can also do is you can turn off your prop mods. That will also bring down your angular velocity, meaning that you will have a lot easier time hitting them. They will also have a lot easier time hitting you. Just keep that in mind. While it is easier for you to hit them, it is also easier for them to hit you. And one thing I will say is try, and I am guilty myself of doing this, I just did it now. Try and get into the habit, especially if you are doing PvP, try and get into the habit of actually using the hotkeys for firing, for activating modules, for do all kinds of stuff like that. It will save you a lot of time in the end. And it can save your life that you are able to activate your modules quicker by using the hotkeys instead of having to go and click them all. You can set them up. You can change them even though they are positioned. And this is not something the game actually tells you. So even though they are positioned in high slot, you could be... Let's just stop the ship here while I demonstrate this. Because when you start the game and you just fit stuff, you will see this is your high slot, this is your medium slot, this is your low slots. This is in terms for overloading. We will get into overloading and thermodynamics much later. But you can definitely be at fault for not knowing that you can actually just move these around. Now you can see the hotkeys. So these are just F1 through F8. These are Alt, F1 through F8. And this down here is control. But you can just move them up. All your activated abilities, you can move them up here. And you can also, I know that a lot of people who like to use click, who don't like to use hotkeys, I know that they have them sort of grouped like this. So you very quickly have your sort of 4 items positioned very close to each other. That also means that you can just go F1, F2, Control F1, F2, and Alt 1, F... Not Alt, but yeah, Alt, not Control, because then you'll have all your passives down here. Let's just turn this one off. So yeah, just know that you can actually move these around, and it's a good idea to do it. Other thing you can do is you can also click this one off. Then that will not show any passive modules, because some people like to show them, some people don't like to show them. It's a matter of taste, I think, if you want to show your passive items. But you can turn it off to just keep this nice and clutter-free. And we need to remove this item, actually. I need to remember to do that.
Docking request accepted.
Let's just chuck this one away. We can actually fit this. I'm pretty sure we have a warp scrambler. Yeah, we actually do. So let's just fit this ship according like we are going into combat. We also want the second gun. And let's actually take this to make us more agile. Yeah, definitely do that. We also have a sub-align time. Yeah, so you want to keep this always below the next whole number. So for instance, the whole number here is 3. Doesn't really matter. The number after the comma, the sort of decimals, they don't really matter in terms of server ticks. So I am pretty sure now we actually have an align time of 2 seconds, because this 9.2 doesn't really count. It's not like the server only counts once every 1 second, and everything that is below 3 seconds will activate on the second tick. So just keep it below. It doesn't matter if for instance, if you are going for align time and you take this one out and you place this one instead, 2.59 is just as quick in terms of server ticks as 2.9. So you get no benefit from going. You would get a benefit if you could drop below 2. And this is actually a really good number, because it means you are more effective with your slots. The most effective would be 2.99. But 2.92 is just as good. It's just that if you can only use one item to drop you below the next whole number, that means that you have a align time of 2 seconds. And that's something that Eve, again, doesn't tell you. You have to know this stuff. And I didn't know about this stuff either. I was taught it. It was told to me way back when. Request mission, Soldier of Fortune. Warning, current ship does not fit. Current ship does not meet requirements. Oh, we have to use this ship. Okay, so is this the... Yeah, I think this might be one of the missions where you are meant to lose a ship. Another great song, this time by a band called... That is how you spell guild, right? The Gift of Guild. A great French progressive death metal band called Gojira. They actually... the last Olympics that were in France last year, I believe. Gojira actually had an opening sequence, which is just... It was a huge moment for heavy metal and rock in general. And now I didn't get to see what it actually said there. It said, control what your opponent sees and you control the battlefield. That is directly. I hate sensor dampening. So sensor dampening reduces, there are different kind of electronic warfare. Every single faction has their own kind of electronic warfare. Galente uses sensor dampeners, and sensor dampeners are really, really annoying, especially in PvE. This is your maximum targeting range, meaning how far away you can target another ship. Sensor dampeners reduces your maximum target range. Oh, remote sensor dampener. Required for here, remote sensor boosts. Basically does the opposite of sensor dampeners. These allow you to target things further away. You can use scripts. I'm pretty sure you can use these to allow yourself, yeah, maximum target range boning 33%, but the sensor dampeners does the opposite. It also does so your scan resolution, which is this one here, scan resolution, that determines how fast you lock targets in relation to their signature radius. So the higher a ship's signature radius is, then based on your scan resolution, the quicker you will lock the target. If you are sensor dampened, you will lock targets slower, and you will also be able to lock targets from you'll not be able to lock targets that are further away. So see, you will lose 13.7% for each sensor dampener that is on you, and that is extremely annoying. I hate sensor damping, especially in PvE. I'm not sure how much it's used in PvP. At least back in my day, it was mostly Galente. No, not Galente, sorry, we are Galente. It was mostly Caldari. Caldari ECM, which is their electronic warfare. Let's just see if we can find the ECM frigates. So here, ECM target jammers. This I am pretty sure. So you have one for each. You can see here that now we are getting into a bit of more advanced stuff. So every single faction has their own sensor strength. So Amar uses radar, Galente uses magnetometric. Not sure I'm pronouncing that correct. Caldari uses gravimetric, and Mimitar uses LiDAR. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be. I'm pretty sure LiDAR and LiDAR are actually the same. And you have one specific. You can see here this jams all 4 times, but it jams the Mimitar one more. You also have a multi-spectrum one, which does more against all 4, but less than one specific would do. You can see this is 2.2, and if you go against one of just the specific, it's 1.1, except it's 3.3 against the one that it's spaced around. Now this, I'm pretty sure this isn't just a matter of minus, plus and minus. So in this, I could be wrong. It's been very, very long since I flew electronic warfare ships. I am not 100% sure, but I don't think, let's just use this example here. We would need the magnetronic, yeah. So this is the Galente one, this is the Galente one, because this is a Galente ship. So 16 points minus 3.3 is 13.12.7. I'm gonna have to count out on my fingers. I'm not very good at small math for some very weird reason. 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, so 12.7 if you subtract 3.3 to 16. 12.7. It's so embarrassing. Anyway, that doesn't mean that it isn't working. You don't need to reduce this to 0. I think this is something to do with base, some percentage chance that it will then work. The more you can reduce it, the higher chance you have of actually jamming them on sort of a tick basis. If you are jammed, if you are being ECM jammed, then every tick there is a chance of you of just getting jammed. And I am pretty sure that this makes it so that you cannot target if you get locked by enemy flying a ship that has these ECM equips. He locks you, meaning he targets you. He then uses this module on you, goes in the medium slots. You can see that here, and it actually starts working on one of the ticks. Then I'm pretty sure you lose all ships that you have targeted already, and then you are only able, for as long as it's working, then you are only able to target the one that is doing the ECM jamming on you. Pretty sure that how it actually works. And these are officer mods. These are very expensive. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it works on a percentage base, because then you would never be able to just for one dude get it below 0 or get it to 0. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that the Caldari electronic warfare are the ones that are being used the most. I'm not even sure what weapon disruptors do. I think it might be something to do with tracking. And Mimitar uses what? The Mimitar uses what? Target painters. Okay, so actually Mimitar electronic warfare is a bit special because they don't use... Oh, they use a stasis webifier on their Tech 2. But yeah, as a Tech 1 ship, they don't do anything negative, sort of. Of course, it is something negative to you, but it's not something actively negative towards you. I would more categorize it as it's buffing your other team. So basically, a target painter is something they use on another ship. They target paint them, they point a laser at that ship, and then that ship takes more damage from missiles and turrets and things like that. It becomes easier to track them, you deal more damage against them. So in that sense, of course, it's negative. It's a negative effect that's been applied to you, but it's not like with sensor dampening, where you are not able to target. You are not able to target ships as far away as you were used to before, or with the ECM, you're not able to target other ships except the ones doing the ECM jamming on you. The target painter does nothing in and of itself. It requires other ships to gain the benefit from you target painting an enemy ship. I hope I'm able to explain what the hell I'm talking about. But anyway, let's just go. And again, this is also a really, really weird looking ship, and now we actually completed drone level 1. Let's just go and see if this isn't one of the missions where we actually have to blow up our ship. Yeah, as your frigate explodes, you will be perfectly safe inside your capsule, so just relax and get back to me when we're done. Yeah, so we have to actually lose this ship. This will also give us a chance under a bit of controlled circumstance to show something else, and that is don't panic. And this is actually really, really important. That's why I'm stopping the ship, because now I am working on a tutorial video where I will also be pointing some of these things out. But unless you are caught in a warp bubble, and I will not go into what a warp bubble is, but if you're getting ganked in high sec, no matter how you got ganked, no matter what went on, and it's not just in high sec, it's the same in low sec and in wormhole space, unless you're caught in a warp bubble, you should never, ever, ever lose your pod. The only reason people are losing pod is because they don't know how to save them, and it's so easy, because pods, your pod meaning when your ship blows up, or if I were to leave my ship now, I would be placed in my pod. And the pod has a very specific sort of stat, and that is that it has an align time of 0, I'm pretty sure, meaning that you will go to warp instantly. Therefore, you should never ever lose your pod. I cannot stress that enough. If you are losing your pod, fair enough. Maybe it's because you don't know how to save it. And now I have not done my custom, or not my, I have not done a custom overview, but usually I have a overview here called Don't Panic. And that will just have every single celestial. Basically, it's almost set up the way I want it to be. I don't want to see enemies. I don't want to see stations. Well, maybe stations. You can make an argument for that, but I don't want to see stuff like that. I only want to see things that I can warp to, and that will allow you to save your pod. Because what you want to do, and as I see, this might happen so quick that I might not get a chance. But if you're in a fight, or if you get ganked, if you get locked up and you are being warp scrambled or pointed or whatever, that you cannot warp away in your ship and you cannot save it, you should of course always try to save your ship. Yeah, now we cannot actually do it because it happens so quickly. But when you come to the realization, okay, I am going to lose my ship, I cannot save my ship, I am going to die, there's nothing I can do to save it, what you'll want to do is you'll want to come to your Don't Panic. I usually have that Not sure why I cannot. I'll look into that because I should be able to actually pull that out. I should be able to actually pull that out into its own window. But once you realize you lose your ship, you want to come to your don't panic or warp out tab, and you just want to keep spamming warp away. Just go like this.
Active.
Even though they are still firing at your ship, you are still losing shield, you are still losing armor, you are still losing structure. Just go to any one of these places on your warp out and just keep spamming warp 2, because the instant your ship blows up, you will already be clicking warp 2, and as soon as you're placed in your pod will warp away instantly. Unfortunately, I cannot show it, but I'm sure we will have plenty of time. Yeah, so yeah, see here, it has an align time of 0 seconds. You can also see here, if I go like this, it will go to warp immediately, and that doesn't matter unless you're caught in a bubble, and we will cover bubbles at one point. Maybe not in the tutorial video I'm doing, because bubbles are very specific. Most people will play throughout their entire EVE career for many, many years without ever seeing a warp bubble and knowing what they do. But just know, and I will cover it more in detail in the tutorial video that I'm working on, you should never, ever lose your pod, especially not in high sec. Miners who lose pods are typically because they are AFK mining, which you should never, ever do. I can understand why people do it, but you should never AFK mine. But again, I will cover it more in detail. I might have a friend help me actually destroy one of my ships while I show what I'm talking about. But yeah, you should never, ever, ever lose your pod in high sec. Allow me to dock, please. Thank you. Now there is another mission. I am pretty sure there is another mission in the Soldier of Fortune chain where you are also meant to lose your ship, but it doesn't say it specifically. But I will end the episode here, and then I will do the rest of these missions. I will do them off camera. So the next time, at least that, I will need to think a little bit about it, but I think I'll do... Should we do the... I'll need to think about that, because there actually are a lot of stuff in these Soldiers of Fortune mission. I think they will be good, but I might do these rest off camera, so I know I've said it before. Next time, guys, next time we will be able to sign up for faction warfare. I promise. And I promise. Next time, don't care if it will be a 2 or a 10-hour episode. Next time we will sign up for faction warfare. So please take care of yourself, guys. Thanks for all the fish. See you guys later. Bye.